Coming down to Cogger to take it back. Trevor wearing the number 6 tonight. This is Brett Clark in number 2. Reminding you, they played an 8-all draw in their first encounter this year. First Winfield Cup encounter. It's Craig Ellis. He's tackled just outside the 32 line. Fella. And already one can see an urgency in the Canterbury defence. They're hitting in 2s and 3s. There's Deryck Fox. An Englishman puts the kick in, going down straight to Phil Sigsworth, based just outside his 22. He's made a 10-metre run and he's met by the Magpies defence in the centre of the ground, with Canterbury repeating, guarding the Paddington end of the field. This is O'Brien, 1984 grand final hero for Canterbury. Billy Johnston, a little dummy out to the open side, and then they hit it back to the blind, and off comes the headgear, number 11 wearing it, Peter Kelly. And the penalty goes to Canterbury-Bankstown. Blowed if I know about players, they seem to have an obsession. The moment somebody wears a headgear, they want to rip it off and throw it away. One of the game's unnecessary acts, as far as I'm concerned. Into lower grade results for you. Canterbury won 8-6 the under-23s, and the closeness of the night might be indicated in that reserve grade scoreline, 7-6 to the Magpies. So nothing in it the first two. I wonder what will happen with this one, number 3. Langmack now, centering play, and just inside the 22. A chance here for the Premiers to draw first blood as Lamb fires it back for Dunn, and Dunn is tackled there by Fowler right around the bootlaces. Crooks over the top with Schubert. Johnston is the ruckman. Steve Mortimer, there's the grubber kick, and that was knocked on, I thought, by Fox. The referee said knocked backwards. Played by him now. 10 is John Bilberger, former Balmain player. I think he went to Parramatta for a little while too. Ellis. I don't think I know he went to Parramatta. John, he's done a bit of travelling in recent years. Trevor Cogger. He's a talented player. I remember Alex Murphy coming out here looking for players. He was wrapped in him. Pethybridge might have taken a late hit there from Billy Johnston. I'm waiting for the referee. He's let play go. The touch judges haven't moved. It's Phil Sigsworth. No, there is one in there now. The man came from basically under me, under the Broangle. Thought he might have hit him a bit late, Johnston, on Pethybridge, when he kicked it. Let's have a look now as the ball is fed back to Pethybridge. He gets the kick in, and, well, you know, Johnston was in mid-air. Now, where he's hit him, I'm not sure. Whether he got him high, I'm not sure, but it'd be impossible for Billy Johnston to pull himself out of the charge that he was on. He would have had to reverse engines in mid-air. So the penalty goes to West, but to be quite honest with you, the penalty should have been given where the ball landed. No question about that. Why Barry Barnes has taken them back to where the incident occurred, I wouldn't know, because it should have been given where the ball landed. So Fox it is who takes the kick for touch, and the tap taken by Alan Fowler. This man is Freeman. That's Fox and Bilberger. And look at that Canterbury defence. They're meeting them adjacent to the play the ball, and that's called meeting them at the advantage line, not letting them past it. This is Willie Williams now. He had an electrifying match the last time we saw him on television down at Leichhardt. Wests are going nowhere, even with the ball. Canterbury really getting some tackling practice in at the moment.
Well, the problem Wests are having is, you know, they have got to try to hit the ball up in the centre of the rucks. It's no good trying to spread it in your own quarter, but when you're playing against such powerful defence as Canterbury are displaying at the moment, they've got to have some plays in the forwards. Rather than just take it up one out, they've got to have some decoy plays to get some yardage that way.
This is O'Brien. Peter Mortimer. Gillespie. Lamb. The kick inside West half, and Drummond has been unable to take it. 6 more tackles. It certainly came off his hand. Here's O'Brien coming away now, and Canterbury up towards the 22 line. Put down by Langmack, scooped up by Crooks. Dummy half is free. Fella getting it away urgently to Trevor Cogger. Lamb has him tied up together with Langmack. Now it's Clark. And again, I've got to point out to you just how concentrated and severe this Canterbury defence is. West, with the ball, are not getting past the previous play the ball. And that's not... it's not a bad trick if you can keep it up, and Canterbury are certainly doing that in the opening minutes. 5 gone now for West. Here comes the kick. Charge down, came off the back of Folkes. It's play on. Oh, what a bounce for Folkes! And Steve Folkes goes in to score. Well, I outlined the rule that covers the charge down yesterday. The ball rising off the boot of the kicker, it can be charged down with any part of the body. And this hit Steve Folkes on the back. And then, of course, he pirouetted, got a tremendous bounce, and away goes the Canterbury number 9 and the New South Wales second rower. Steve Folkes scores the first try of the match.
In many respects, this was a try that was a result of constant pressure. Canterbury been applying all sorts of pressure to Western Suburbs. They couldn't get out of their own quarter. They tried to do that with a clearing kick. It wasn't a good one. Folkes charged it down, picked it up, and of course he was fast enough to carry through and go over for the try.
Steve Folkes, he's only a little fellow, but he's built like a blacksmith's anvil, to put it. Well, there he is alongside Paul Dunya. They just walked away, but he's a fair dinkum dwarf alongside him. But I tell you what, if you measured them on muscle power, there'd be nothing in it. Terry Lamb, 15 metres out. We'll take a short break after this kick, so I'll pre-warn you if you're looking for refreshments. An easy one for Lamb. Flags up. Scoreline, Canterbury 6, West 0. Back at the cricket ground, Canterbury 6, Western Suburbs no score. But the Magpies have got the ball. Of course, they restarted it, but Phil Sigsworth made a mistake down in his own in-goal, and West have come back with it from the line dropout. This is Fowler at dummy half, and they work across there, and that's what Bill was talking about earlier. They've got to put some variation in their forward plays, because the way they were going about it, well, as I said, they weren't going anywhere. Here's Fowler now. The other thing they've got to do is play the ball more quickly. Slow play the balls allows the opposition defence to get set, and they're waiting for you. If you can play the ball quickly, then you can get a bit of a run on. Up and under from Fox, and Sigsworth went up. He couldn't take it. Williams gets the ball away to Ellis. Ellis away to Brett Clark. Clark goes back towards the middle, and he's tackled 9 metres out from the Canterbury line. First tackle gone for Western Suburbs as it comes across from Fox and goes out to Williams. A cut-out pass over to Crooks, and the Canterbury defence has him. The ball went loose, I think. It's a knock-on. Scrum just inside the Canterbury 22. Crooks gets away some great passes. I've seen him put on balls for tries that you wouldn't believe. But one of the weaknesses that's in his game is he seems to try to get the ball away at all costs, at every opportunity. If he could just harness that and put up passes when they're on, when he's a 99% chance of getting them back, it'd be a much better player for it. Canterbury winning the scrum. Well, pretty well a windless night here at the cricket ground. And on the sidelines, getting a better impression of that, of course, is Graeme Hughes. He's down there with Don Lane at the moment.
Perfect conditions for football, and Canterbury showing an enormous commitment already in this first 10 minutes to their game. A very disappointing period for them over the last fortnight. And Steve Mortimer back on deck tonight, and Don, he's been screaming at these forwards, and they're certainly hitting these Magpies nice and hard.
He certainly has made a big difference. He's out there pointing, directing. He never stops talking, and the commitment to defense is amazing. The hits have it's almost as if the Western Suburbs guys don't want to run with the ball because they're really copping something.
Don Lane with Graeme Hughes on the sidelines. Lamb, neat little kick down to Drummond. It's hard to tell from sitting up here, but he looks to be a small fellow, Drummond. I had visions that he was bigger than this. Crooks. Yes, he's certainly built for speed and not so much for comfort. Schubert. Ooh, driving defence from Canterbury. This is good stuff from Gillespie and folks that time.
It is great defence when you consider from our high vantage point, we can see that Barry Barnes has got them back a very good 5. You know, they've got a long way to go up, but they're getting up there, they're making the hit, and then they're getting back quickly.
O'Brien going back and coming down the ground quickly was Henderson, the other, or another of the Englishmen. Here's a penalty going to Canterbury. Henderson was in front of the kicker, and if you're in front of the kicker, you've got to stay outside the 5.
It was a bad mistake. They play the same rule in England as they do here. He was obviously in front of the kicker, but still came through inside the 5 metres.
Well, here's a good opportunity to go to John Croucher now to check the pools and the forecasts from you people at home in Footy Tab.
Yes, Ray, there's $35,000 to be won tonight on Pick the Result, and not surprisingly, over 80% of the entries have gone for the Bulldogs, and they've made the most popular score, Canterbury 24, Western Suburbs 6.
And talking of Footy Tab, I reckon if you pick the margins this weekend, you're in for a bonanza. With that draw yesterday, the first in a fair while, and that big score by Manly against St George. I reckon it's going to be big. Pick the margins. Run around, and it's Farah getting a flick pass out the back there for Steve Mortimer. Terry Lamb's a dummy half. Folks. Oh, a lot of metres there for Folks. He ran 10 metres before he found them. Steve Mortimer, Terry Lamb. Steve Mortimer, beautiful work. Gillespie, he gave a pass. He knew he'd made a mistake. He cleaned it up himself. And look at them bouncing this ball around between them. It's Peter Mortimer and his brother Chris. It's a forward pass. Barnes has called them back. Deserved a better result, really. Whether you barrack for Canterbury or not, they really put on some razzle-dazzle stuff there. And I made the point in my preview of this match that the competition's never been won from 4 or 5 as you watch the Tooheys replay. I reckon if ever that's going to happen, this is going to be one of the best chances. Oh, here goes Fox away from the scrum base. If they do finish 4 or 5, by Jove,
I can't see that happening.
I can't either, but should they, they're going to have a very good chance of pulling it off. Played by Schubert. Of course, they wouldn't want to finish there, that's for sure. Bilberger. Tackle by Gillespie. Kelly up the top. Well, that's a nice play. The ball from a first grader. Fella. This man is Ellis to the halfway. Lamb around the ankles. Gillespie up the top. Dummy half Bilberger. Over to Fox. Now to Cogger. A cutout ball. That man is Crooks running into a big opening. Out wide. See, there it is again. As we've seen so many times, if you're going to have a chance against the Bulldogs, you've got to stretch it. Long balls.
Well, that's been the secret to teams that have beaten Canterbury this year, long cut-out balls in the back line, but each of the teams that have done that have based it on a foundation of good, strong forward play as well, and that's where Wests are going to have a problem. They may not be able to advance the ball as far as they'd like through the forwards and then spread it.
Canterbury to win by 24-6, the favoured score from John. So obviously the people who've gone to Footy Tab expect Canterbury to hit back here tonight. Langmack the dummy half. Sigsworth gaining about 10 metres, tackled by Fox and Freeman. Gillespie, he's reached the halfway. Tacklers were Ellis and Bilberger. Mortimer, Lamb, and a good tackle by Cogger. He came up and smothered the Canterbury 5/8, former Magpie, Terry Lamb. Langmack across now for Chris Mortimer, out to Andrew Farrar, and it's gone over the touchline off the leg of O'Brien. So it'll be a West feed. 6-0 in favour of Canterbury. And back at the cricket ground, the congratulations are being handed out to Rod Pethybridge. The scrum went down, West fed it. Pethybridge came in from fullback. He made the extra man, and that's as simple as it was. Making that extra man, he was able to run into an opening. He crossed the 32 and the 22 and was going in to score. Clear of Sigsworth, the nearest chaser. Here he is head on, this big lump of a fellow, one of the form players all year long. And Rod Pethybridge, the try scorer for Western Suburbs. One of the gambles, of course, you take in live television is taking a commercial, but it seemed a sweet and opportune time to take it. There it was on record, Rod Pethybridge scoring a try. The carbologist. Ian Schubert taking the attempted conversion from a metre in from the touchline and a metre outside the 22. Schubert's kick, well wide and very low. And so it's Canterbury-Bankstown leading Western Suburbs by 6 points to 4. A simple try, to say the least, Bill Anderson.
It was. Pethybridge came in and made the extra man, and I suppose if we're going to point the finger at anyone, it'd have to be the number 3 for Canterbury, Andrew Farrer. He stayed out on his centre, and what he had to do as soon as the extra man was created was move in to make a ball and all tackle, angle in and put pressure on. He didn't do that, and that gave Pethybridge the free run, and I was surprised that he had enough pace to go all the way and beat Sigsworth in a race for the line.
Talking to Pethybridge, it was he who brought it out. His fella. See, fella's been trying to run from dummy half tonight, and I'll tell you what he's lacking more than anything. He's lacking a decoy runner.
But see, what you need when you're spot on, Ray, when you're taking the ball up from these positions, you need someone off your shoulder. Even if they're not going to get the ball, at least it takes the heat off you and you don't become a target.
Gillespie coming up with it for Canterbury. And they're playing the ball just inside the Western Suburbs 22.
Oh, all offside, those Western Suburbs backs then.
Dunn, long pass out to Farrer, a quick ball away. It's gone to ground. That'll be 6 more. Well, Canterbury's got it. Where's Barry Barnes going? Oh, I see. He's going to referee from adjacent to play the ball. All right, this is Kelly.
You're very kind.
Well, he should have given 6 more tackles for a start. But anyway, we won't worry about that now as Dunn goes ahead, looking for the line. It's only about 11 metres out. Johnston is the dummy half. Across now for Mortimer. Out to Lamb. Langmack showing us a new way to carry the ball. Schubert plays it. Crooks. Yes. Paul Langmack.
He almost hatched it.
He sure did. Bilberger. Oh! Boy. Folks and Gillespie got Bilberger. They got him in the sweet spot and just drove him back to where he came from. And going up 1 out again was Johnny Bilberger. Not his fault. The kicker's cleared it now, but gee, it seems like an eternity since they started trying to bring it out from the restart of play after the try. The scrum now just on the Canterbury side of the halfway. Well, I've seen some impressive defence this year, but this is equal to anything we've seen from anybody in the competition. Pethybridge! Henderson couldn't take it. Williams has it. That's a knocker.
It was the second time that Western Suburb have tried this play. It's the one from a scrum. They scored from it recently. Pethybridge came in, made the extra man, and he was almost through the line. It was only a desperate tackle by Chris Mortimer that was able to nip it in the bud.
So Western Suburbs, every time they go wide, every time they reach to the extremities, they're having some luck against Canterbury. Penalty to the Bulldogs. His feet across against Fowler. Fowler indicating to the referee, that's fine. I had my feet across, but make him put it in the centre. Well, Alan, if you're hoping for that in rugby league, you're hoping for a miracle. Particularly from the Archbishop. Done. Oh! Yes! Kelly! Yes! Peter Mortimer! Away now for Billy Johnston! It's a try! That's great support rugby league by Canterbury-Bankstown. Billy Johnston scores the try. This was simply a case of players taking it ahead, drawing the defence, committing the defence,
looking for support that was ever present. Dunn and Kelly and Peter Mortimer, and then Billy Johnston scoring a great rugby league try.
Well, this is great backing up by Canterbury. First of all, it was done. He hit the line. He turned, saw Kelly was there. Kelly himself did a hit and spin. He saw Peter Mortimer on his outside. Then Peter Mortimer popped the ball up. He heard a call from Billy Johnson, and Johnson had a bit of work to do still himself, but he was able to cross for a tremendous team try.
Well, Billy Johnston makes a habit of scoring tries at the Sydney Cricket Ground. I don't think he's missed scoring a try in Channel 10 telecasts in a long, long time. Terry Lamb's got a difficult kick. Out on the 22 on the touchline in front of the Brawongle. Gee, that was a good try. It mightn't have been as flash as a lot of tries you've seen where it's gone through 11, 12 sets of hands, but that was perfect rugby league.
An example of the best move in football, backing up.
73 first-grade games Billy Johnston has played, and that was his 28th point, I believe, in first grade. A former professional pugilist. Graham taking his time with it. Got it away sweetly, just wide of the uprights. 10 points to 4, Canterbury leading West to his Monday Night Football.
Welcome back to the Sydney Cricket Ground with a score of 10-4 in favour of Canterbury-Bankstown, and from where I'm looking up here high, it's obvious that the Canterbury-Bankstown team certainly got their defence very much in order. Don Lane, you've got a good vantage point down on the sideline. How does it look from where you are?
Well, it actually, to tell you the truth, it looks terrifying. Some of the hits are absolutely amazing, and there's always 2 and 3 coming in on tackles, as you notice. And the thing about Canterbury that amazes me more than anything is their ability to be able to strike back so quickly when there is a turnover on the ball.
This is Chris Mortimer now. Peter Kelly. Penalty to Canterbury. It's against Ellis. Steve Mortimer indicating they'll be going for goal. Very good matches set down for the weekend. Canterbury play Penrith, in fact. And Balmain are playing Manly. That match at Leichhardt, I know the Balmain people have got a big day set down for Sunday. In fact, there's a game of touch football between the jockeys and the trotting drivers. And the trotting drivers will be captained by a woman. So, I don't know what's happened to us, guys. But anyway, if you are at Leichhardt on Sunday, that's just part of the festivities they've got lined up for you. I tell you what, she's got a few links on the other trotting drivers too in appearance when you clap eyes on her. Terry Lamb, centre of the ground, right in front. Oh, beautiful kick. 12 points to 4. Canterbury leading Western Suburbs. To his Monday Night Football. Sydney Cricket Ground, under lights. What a beautiful place it is. And it's illuminated. It's probably brighter, in fact, than broadcasting some matches here at around about 4:30 in the afternoon when the shadows have lengthened. Just on that point, I still reckon the league should be looking at the months of February and March out here. By Jove. I reckon people would relish the chance to get out here at night time in our Februaries and Marches. Steve Mortimer. Terry Lamb cuts out Peter, goes to Chris. We'll get some highlights and some lowlights from yesterday's match here at the cricket ground at half-time for you. You know, it was just a scoreline that I don't think Manly expected to win by that many. In fact, I'm sure they didn't. But as said by Johnny Raper yesterday, it was, I think he used the word, the saddest day in St George's Rugby League history. It might have been a bit heavy from Rapes, but 54 to 20. We've got some of the highlights, as I said, for you at half-time.
Just lost all our St George supporters for half-time.
Here's Brett Clark. Drummond. You stay with us, Roy. Fella. Freeman. There's the ball coming out the side. It was real that it came out and went back, but really the ball was lost in the tackle. And 9 times out of 10, in fact, I'd say 10 out of 10, they'd set a scrum. Here's Sigworth.
The unfortunate thing for West is this game's developed an ominous pattern. Western Suburbs can hardly get the ball over Canterbury's quarter. Canterbury belt it back for 6 and get in Western Suburbs area. And if West do get the ball back, all they're doing really is hitting the ball up for survival. Hit it for survival, kick the ball back to Canterbury, and all of a sudden here they come again.
Well, we haven't heard much from former Canterbury champion Graeme Hughes tonight. I think he's just sitting down there.
He's lapping it up.
Delighting in what's happening out there. He's got a smile on his face like a split watermelon. All right, you tell us about it. Tell us what you see.
They've started very confidently. 12-4 is certainly nothing to write home about at this stage. We've only got 11 minutes still left on the clock. They're starting to hit top gear. What I like about their players, more their defence more than anything. 2 losses, of course. They've been renowned as a bit of a mean machine in the Sydney Rugby League competition, and that's what we've seen more than anything. Their attack will start to come. That's always the case. Good to see Billy Johnson get across that try line. He's been in top form in reserve grade. There's not much between he and Mark Bugden in open play as far as running from the dummy half position, although I do think Billy is far better in that support role of backing up, and I also believe that his service from the dummy half is a lot cleaner.
Terry Lamb, in the meantime, will build his mound and take this penalty shot from, well, let's try and be accurate here, Bill. 38.5 metres.
Spot on.
Right in front. Yes, that's our NEC big game on Sunday, by the way. Manly and Balmain. We're looking forward to covering it. There are always great matches between the Eagles and the Tigers. But as I said earlier, the Bulldogs will play the Panthers in a very important match for both. Balmain will be hanging on every point that's scored up there, in fact. Lamb's kick, he got it away. It's going wide, but it's there. 2 more points, 14-4. Tui's Monday Night Football. In favour of the Bulldogs. Sigworth playing it. O'Brien. Graham, I've got to put it to you because it's something that's been bugging me for a week now as Canterbury throw it around inside their own 22. With the injury to Michael Potter. That came off the boot of Bilbidger, but it's back with Canterbury now. He's refereed on the side of the incident and said there was a knock-on. The moment it became apparent that Michael Potter was more or less out of business, I wonder what goes through the mind of a player like Phil Sigsworth when we read about how Canterbury were going on a search for another fullback. Doherty's name came up, but a bloke like Sigsworth, like he's an accomplished first grader, and they're looking for somebody else better than him.
Well, he has been playing a lot of reserve grade. I think he came to the club knowing that he had a difficult task before him to try and make the top 13. I'm glad you raised that point, Ray, because I am really of the belief that under the situation, I would have been very tempted to play a guy like Chris Mortimer at fullback. He's played there before and handles the position extremely well. That would have allowed them the opportunity to bring Peter Mortimer back into the centres and Sandy Campbell, arguably the club's quickest man, back in on the wing position.
All right, there it is from Graham. Ellis is tackled about 12 metres out from the Canterbury line. Fowler with a short ball to Fox, and then Crooks comes up and is taken by Dunn. Cross now for Fox, and this is Cogger. Now it's Williams. He cuts out Henderson, finds Drummond. Drummond going very fast down that touchline. Get a touch about 10 metres out. He really turned on the speed here, Drummond. He went around O'Brien on the Tui's replay. The touch judge had to hurdle O'Brien, then turned and politely apologised.
Showed a lot of pace then, Drummond, because O'Brien's no slouch.
Fox. The defence coming from all over the place. Terry Lamb hit Fox, and he took him back actually five metres before he'd finished with him. Williams. And look at this. Williams actually was tackled 25 out. He finished up 32 out before the referee apparently deemed that the tackle had been completed. This is Bilberger. Ellis overrunning it. Fox picking it up on the bounce. It's gone out to Brett Clark. Langmack driving in there with Andrew Farrer. Fowler. Ball going out the back, and it's gone over the touchline. It'll be a Canterbury feed, I do believe. It seemed to come off Brett Clark. Whether in fact he was playing the advantage, I'm not quite sure. Let's have a look at it. Yes, Canterbury's feed. Just outside the 22. Same tunnel. Lamb. Cogger realising that Canterbury are in, what's the word I'm looking for? They're certainly in a ruthless mood.
Oh, Sigsworth over the halfway. Here's the support. Guess who? Barber. Terry Lamb over the 22. Pethybridge chases. Peter Mortimer. He's going in to score a Canterbury try, and a beauty. Phil Sigsworth was the man who made the break, and I'm rather glad that he figured in that try, because the point I was making about Canterbury looking for another player for fullback to replace Potter, I wasn't particularly talking about Sigsworth, but heavens above, he'd have to be a damn good replacement or a damn good find at this time of the year to be better than some of the players available to the Bulldogs. And this man, Terry Lamb, there's no better player in the game as far as backing up is concerned than Terry Lamb, and Peter Mortimer scores the try on the Tui's replay.
Sigsworth cracked them open. He pushed through a tackle. He first of all looked on the outside for support. There was none there. So he looked back on the inside and found Terry Lamb. Now, Lamb could never really find his legs here. He started to flounder, so he looked back on the outside, and there was Peter Mortimer. He did a good winger's job in support and did the rest oh so easily.
18 points to 4 now. Peter Mortimer, shop owner. Sometimes I believe a muso, a poet. He's not just a footballer, this man. The man they call the Parrot. 3 from 4 for Terry Lamb. We're looking at a man in a blue and white jumper now, but it's my guess he'll be wearing green and gold come October, November. They've got to take this man. Beautiful kick. Splitting the uprights. 20 points to 4, Monday Night Football. Points to 4, Canterbury leading Wests, and we're watching. I think one of the features at the cricket ground tonight was an appearance by the Mean Machine, the swimming team, but I think we're watching the Rugby League Mean Machine at the moment. This, well, Steve Mortimer was faking for a penalty. Now, they've got a penalty, Canterbury. It was a shepherd on Western Suburbs. Mortimer kicked. Freeman became an obstruction, and Mortimer appealed for the penalty. There's the obstruction for Shepherd. And while Steve Mortimer was complaining to the referee for not getting a penalty for being knocked over late, they picked up a penalty anyway a little bit further down the ground. So Steve dropped off his complaint as Canterbury take the tap. A long ball from Billy Johnston. So too from Steve Mortimer and Terry Lamb. It's come down off the shoulder to Andrew Farrer. Langmack, 10-metre line, put down by Terry Lamb. Play by Pethybridge. Crooks, Dunn and Chris Mortimer making the tackle.
Well, I'm almost getting a sore neck from having it on this angle, watching Western Suburbs trying to get the ball up out of their own area, and Canterbury
Drummond's put it down. O'Brien will score. O'Brien scores for Canterbury after Drummond, who's having an unhappy visit to the Sydney Cricket Ground. That's the kindest I can be. O'Brien capitalised on a Drummond mistake. And here it is on the Tooheys replay. Des seems like he might be having some trouble with the Sydney Cricket Ground lights. As I just said, maybe I'm being kind to him. He's having an absolute horror.
Western Suburbs took the risk of moving the ball out of their own quarter, but really it was passing in safety. There was no pressure on Drummond whatsoever. He just couldn't hold the ball. O'Brien was there to pick it up. He said, "Thank you very much, that'll do me."
Steve O'Brien scores the try for Canterbury. They're fourth, and they lead by 24-4. Terry Lamb is 4 out of 5 so far. West, well, they're probably saying what the hell's going on here, but I think you people at home and everybody at the cricket ground would agree that we've seen a Canterbury side that came out here totally wound up to wipe the memory of the last 2 weeks from everybody's mind. Lamb's kick, he just stabbed it, and he got it. 26 points to 4. Canterbury leading Wests, and we're only a quarter of a minute from the half-time break. Schubert brings it back to the centre of the ground. And play only just getting started in front of the siren, which is sounding in the background, and Chris Mortimer comes back with it. And he takes the tackle, so that's the end of the first half of proceedings here, with Canterbury-Bankstown scoring 4 tries, Lamb kicking 5 goals and leading by 26 points to 4. Back at the cricket ground, Canterbury 26, Western Suburbs 4, and pardon me, Bill and I were just going through the first half statistics, and Bill made the comment that West aren't playing that badly when you look at the statistics. In fact, it's been, according to statistics, one of the best first halves that we've seen all season. Simply going on statistics and nothing else. Canterbury-Bankstown, of course, would like to take this opportunity of thanking one of their associate sponsors, Dumpex Waste Disposal. And that's one of the fine associate sponsors that the Canterbury-Bankstown Bulldogs have in 1986. As Western Suburbs get us going again now. Sigsworth. This match, of course, being Canterbury's home game. There's the tackles from the first half, about line ball, which is probably a little bit hard to believe. Cogger coming up with it, and he's lost it. So it'll be a scrum out on the Canterbury 32 line.
Pethybridge. Freeman. Movie buffs on Channel 10 tonight in Sydney. The movie is Horse Soldiers, starring John Wayne and William Holden. A couple of Billy Anderson's friends.
Yes, I'm going to race home as quick as I can to watch it.
Crooks now. 15 metres out from the Canterbury line. Good hands there by Cogger, picking up Pethybridge. But as has been the case so often, he's attracted a hell of a lot of Canterbury attention. Fox puts up the high ball. Sigsworth's underneath it. Well taken, Sigsworth. It was a good kick by Fox. He couldn't have brought it down in the better part of the field. See it again on the Tooheys replay. Sigsworth obviously gave the call. Peter Mortimer stayed down, stayed out of it. Being played by Peter Mortimer now. Gillespie. Picked up by Mortimer, and another scrum to go down just inside the 22. Cogger back to Fox. Bilberger. Kelly launching himself at him. The ball loose back to Freeman. Away from Farah, tackled by Langmack. Williams. Gillespie with the smother tackle. 6-3 the scrums to West, 6-2 the penalties to Canterbury. Schubert. Fox. High ball again for Sigsworth. And that's a penalty for West. Yes, it came off Sigsworth. Chris Mortimer was offside. A quick tap taken by the Magpies, and it's Deryck Fox. There's the replay of it. No question about the ruling. By the same token, Chris Mortimer, in a tighter situation than this, or in any situation, did the right thing. This is Bilberger. So can the Magpies get over that line again? They've been over it once when they stretched the ball from a scrum. Well, that should be a penalty to Canterbury. It is too. It came off Crooks onto this man, Cogger. Not very much in it, but there it is, coming off Crooks down to Cogger. He's offside, and a penalty goes to the Blue and Whites. At 15 metres out from their own line. Dunn. Johnston. Peter Mortimer away from Brett Clark. Williams comes at him, holds him off with one arm and throws the ball forward. It's going to be a scrum about 35 metres out from the West line. There's the pass from Peter Mortimer. No question about it going forward. And he appears to have injured a knee over there, a knee or an ankle. Pethybridge, tackled by Lamb, and coming in over the top was Farah. Fox, Schubert, Crooks, Kelly and Folks making the tackle there. Bilberger. to Fowler. Pethybridge taken by Farrer. Cogger, Fox, Williams. Long pass put down by Henderson, picked up by Lamb. Tackle by Schubert. Sigsworth. Good fend by Sigsworth. There's a try. Right in front of the MA Noble, the Bradman stand people. Sigsworth having a good game tonight. Just a very simple piece of football. As the good coaches will tell you, you've got to do the simple things well. And that's exactly what they did. Just a quick pass, a quick play of the ball, and then it went from Mortimer, a short ball, to a man coming from deep on the fly, Sigsworth, and straight under the uprights.
Sigsworth pushed through a tackle in the first half to set up Peter Mortimer's try, and here he did exactly the same thing and scores under the black dot.
27 years of age, and according to the stats, one of the few pro footballers around these days. From 6 for Terry Lamb. Lamb from right in front, no mistake. That's 6 from 7. Scoreline 32-4.
Cricket ground to get right back outside the area. We have a call for Damien Baker from Winston Hills. Damien Baker from Winston Hills.
Back at the cricket ground. Tooheys Monday Night Football, and Canterbury-Bankstown extending their lead in that previous try to 32-4. The try scored by Sigsworth, and here he is with the ball now. Play just outside the 22 line on the Bulldogs' end of the ground, and there's a change coming up for Western Suburbs in the near future. Here's Graham.
Gary Webster, the reserve grade front rower in 26, has moved to the bench. He'll take the place of Ian Freeman, and with that scoreline of 32-4 in Canterbury's favour, that should be the first of some rather rapid changes, say, in the next 10 minutes.
Steve Mortimer. Farrer inside for Johnston, and Johnston just crossing the halfway line. That's the turnover. Crooks. Freeman. Ooh, savage tackle. Dunn and Folks. Cogger. Bilbiger. Cogger. Williams. Fox. And his kick is going to find touch just outside the Canterbury 22. Lamb. Sigsworth. Gillespie.
The danger signs are now there for Western Suburbs. Canterbury not only making breaks out wide and on the fringe of the rucks, but they're making easy yards now straight up the middle.
Dunn. Kelly. Langmack came onto it hard. Chris Mortimer had to go back to clean it up, and Kelly dives on it. Last tackle. Steve Mortimer on the blind side. Just a grubbing kick there Finding the line midway between the 22 and halfway west end of the ground. Talking before the match with a couple of the Balmain players here tonight watching the game. Scotty Gale and Gary Schofield.
Drummond over the halfway line.
By Steve Mortimer, about 15 metres into Canterbury's area. He's fast. Schubert. Bilberger to the 32 line. Good work by Bilberger. Fella. Now it's Crooks. Kick into the corner. Pethybridge will score if he can get there in time. He can't. Good thinking here by Lee Crooks. Everybody was up in the line, including the number one, and Pethybridge was running hot at the time, but he just couldn't get there in time. Kelly. West have made a change. Ian Freeman is off. And Gary Webster has gone on. A chance here for Canterbury. O'Brien. Langmack. Done. Lamb. Mortimer. Sigsworth. Kelly's winding himself up behind the play, coming around to the blind side. Got a bad pass from Steve Mortimer. In fact, he caught it between his knees. 5 tackles gone. Pethybridge coming out to the 32. And he's tackled and put down there. As we go to the sidelines, Graham and Don have caught up with Peter Tunks.
Peter, I guess this is more like it.
Yeah, the boys are really playing well tonight. Every time I drop out, they seem to win by a big score, so I think I'll just stay on holidays.
Is there any chance of a state front rower coming back and looking down the barrel at, all these guys in the pack at some stage, maybe pursuing some time in reserve grade?
Oh, sure. I've been out. I haven't played a lot of football for Canterbury over the last 6 weeks, so, if I come back next week and I play reserve grade, it doesn't really worry me, and, I'm just there to do what the club tell me to do, so it doesn't really make any difference.
Well, what is the situation with the knee injury?
It's all right. Canterbury just decided to give me this week off, which will give me a 2-week break before I come back and play again, which will be sufficient to get it 100% right instead of just playing 75% fit every week.
The commitment from the guys tonight, it hits home to me that realisation that top 3 spot is so very valuable in the semi-finals.
Yeah, well, I really don't. Well, it's nearly impossible I win, I think, from 4th or 5th, but I'd like to think that we won't have to find out.
Okay, thanks, Peter.
Thanks a lot.
Williams. Folks and Johnston making the tackle. And the manner in which they made it would make one almost think that it was the opening minutes of the game. But in fact, we're 3/4 of the way through. Webster, jumper number 26, formerly with the Balmain club. Bilberger. And Lamb goes away with it. Making a big run inside the 32 and the 22. Brett Clark comes at him. He runs away from him. And Terry Lamb goes in to score his own try. Well, the way Bilberger was carrying the football, or the way he was hanging onto the football, there was every chance that Canterbury were going to take it off him. And that's exactly what Terry Lamb did. He goes up. Dunn gets under him with Terry Lamb. The ball is just sitting up there like an ice cream on a cone. And Terry Lamb takes it off him and then runs the best part of 50 metres. Brett Clark tried to run him down, but Lamb is away and running. Another try to Canterbury.
There's not much Terry Lamb can't do in a game of football. He can tackle, he can run with the ball, he can kick, he can goal kick, and here he shows that he can even steal the ball if it's there for the taking. Lamb pinched it, Clark gave chase. He was never going to get to him, really. Lamb's a good broken field runner in those situations. He's got a bit of a step, and he comes up with a very good individual try.
Terry Lamb now to attempt conversion of his own try. Brett Clark is still getting some attention from the West trainer. Good performance tonight by Lamb. And he's got this one too, so he's certainly on line with his goal kicking as well.
38 points to 4 in favour of the Bulldogs.
Goodwood Cricket Ground, Canterbury 38, Western Suburbs 4. The scrum packing about 10 metres away from that Paddington, the old Paddington Hill corner. And we see that Wests have made another replacement. Henderson has come off, and I think it's Duval in 16, Graham, isn't it?
Greg Duval in 16 has gone on.
While we're down there with you, the lanky Yank was saying in the preview that he thought Terry Lamb would have a big one tonight. You weren't far wrong, Don.
Well, you know, it didn't take a genius to figure it out. He's been sort of overshadowed by the losses, and he's also had to play that substitute role to New South Wales team, and I think he was really out to prove something here tonight, as was the whole Canterbury team. I would have loved to have heard what he said to them before they came out for this game. Boy, did they come out here ready.
Yes, well, I don't know that he probably had to say very much at all, really, because the events of the last couple of weeks would probably be enough to motivate a team of champions like he's got under him. Here's Schubert now, taking it out to the 22, getting a one-hander off in desperation to Brett Clark. And a lot of the things Wests have had to do tonight have been out of desperation, more than frustration, probably. This is done. And Canterbury coming up with the ball on the turnover on the West 22. So a great opportunity for them to extend the scoreline even further as Gillespie gets it off to Terry Lamb. He's inside the 10. Steve Mortimer backs him up, and Steve Mortimer goes in to score another Canterbury try. Well, Graeme Hughes, being a state cricketer of years gone by, not too many years gone by, this pitch at the cricket ground must be playing very placidly. What was it, 70-odd yesterday without the loss of a wicket, and 46 tonight, and still no wickets have fallen.
Well, I think next Monday night, whoever wins the toss should bat.
Well, it was a good ball put on here by Gillespie, wasn't it? Gillespie got round Crook's tackle, stood in another one, got the ball up to Lamb. Lamb's a great backer-upper, there's no doubt about that. He got the ball back inside to Mortimer, who puts the ball firmly down over the try line.
So there he is, Steve Mortimer. What a great footballer. He's been 29 now. Very proud of his athlete's foot out there at, where is it? Roselands, is it? Or Bankstown?
Proud of his what? His athlete's foot.
I thought that was the name of the shop. I wish you'd tune in, Billy. Trying to give the little man a plug and you want to pull me down.
No, it's great footwear. I've been there myself.
Terry Lamb now from right in front adds the extras. 44-4. Bulldogs are having a picnic. Ian Schubert bringing it back, and I reckon the shoe is saying, fair dinkum, fancy copping these blokes tonight. Lee Crooks kicks off. Big kick down to Farah. O'Brien comes away.
I suppose the interest now for Canterbury-Bankstown supporters is to see if they can get past the 52 points that were posted yesterday by Manly, and that's not beyond them the way they're playing.
Chris Mortimer. Steve Mortimer and now Kelly. Little short ball away, and look at Gillespie go. Over the halfway, finds support in Sigsworth and Langmack. Langmack runs out of extras. No, he doesn't. He finds Dunn. Back it goes for Langmack. Langmack looking for support to try and keep it alive. 30 metres out. Centre of the ground. Big run by Gillespie. Terry Lamb. Long ball. Folks, short pass. Farah. Down the line goes Peter Mortimer. Tackle by Schubert. Not into touch. Good piece of work there by Peter Mortimer. Kelly. Kelly, 5 metres out from the line.
That's where they've won the game, Canterbury. That hard work up the middle.
Kelly's getting up to play it 5 metres out. Steve Mortimer, grab a kick. Oh, and a beautiful bounce for Langmack.
It hit a Western Suburbs player, Alan Fella, came off his chest, landed on its point and bounced into the chest of Paul Langmack. When things are going your way, it seems that, well, it came off the head of Pethybridge. It was a beautiful header by Rod Pethybridge, straight into the arms of Paul Langmack and the poor old Maggies, and I must admit I feel a bit sorry for them. As I said earlier, when Schubert brought the ball back, he's probably saying, fancy copping this mob playing like they are tonight. Well, Dono, what else can we say?
Well, I can say this much. I think it's a tribute to Canterbury that very few people are leaving this place, and the kind of football that they're playing, even though they've got 48 points up on the board, they've got this place buzzing. These people are all jumping up and waiting for everything to happen. It's quite amazing here.
Yeah, well, we used to call them the entertainers. Of course, there was a lull in that, but tonight we're seeing them do everything that they did when they were dubbed as the entertainers of Sydney League. Lamb has has scored 20 points in this match so far. Here he comes now for 22, 8 out of 9. 48 points to 4.
Lamb goes for the half century, misses it. 48 to 4.
Here's a break. Canterbury leading by 48 to 4 now. Fox tackle just outside the 22. Change for Canterbury, Graham.
They're about to rest their state second rower, a guy that certainly deserves one, Steve Phopes, after his heavy commitments the last month or so, and the man that will be going on will be David Boyd in 22.
Lee Crooks just took a nasty knock as he went in to make... well, he was looking for the ball, but he was tackled without it, and Lee is still down injured. He's in a bit of pain out there.
You should have seen the next tackle that Canterbury put on Webster. He brought the ball up and he was hit like a sledgehammer by Foulkes and by Gillespie. These fellows have not relaxed their defence one bit since the opening minutes of the match. Look at these tackles, 2 and 3 in every one of them.
Kelly and Dunn making the tackle on Johnny Bilberger. Fox.
It's another good bomb by Fox. Spot on that one.
Sigsworth. You know, Lamb's scored all the points, I suppose, and you've talked about how the big forwards have taken it up and kept that roll on, but by Jove, I reckon Sigsworth's had a big game here tonight. And I guess I go back to the subject I raised earlier.
Well, it'll be a relief for the Canterbury-Bankstown selectors because no doubt they thought they were going to have a problem. Potter was one of their form players when he got injured, and if you're going to have someone that's maybe not up to par, fullback's certainly not the position to have him in.
I was just watching Steve Mortimer. He saw Phil Sigsworth tackled. He's ordering his troops around him, saying, now it's yours, and then it's yours, and the ball had been lost, and suddenly it's between Steve's feet. He didn't know it was there. Here's Johnston. Now it's with Steve Mortimer. Terry Lamb's with him. There he is with the ball now. Peter Mortimer's outside him. Grubber kick ahead. It has gone into touch. So Steve Foulkes has gone. A great game from the entire Canterbury team, and of course a very healthy contribution by Steve Foulkes. Who went on, Graham? I must admit I missed it.
David Boyd in 22.
Williams tackled by Farah and Lamb. An awesome display by Canterbury tonight.
Pethybridge.
Of course, there's going to be people around saying that West were no match for Canterbury tonight, and that's an accurate comment, but I'm wondering who would have been a match for them tonight. The statistics at half-time sort of suggested that West weren't playing all that badly there.
Well, you wonder what would have happened if Manly yesterday played apparently like the Premiers for 1986, and Canterbury today are certainly playing like they could be Premiers once again if you'd have matched Manly with their form yesterday against Canterbury's form of today.
Interesting one.
We'll know more about that come September.
Farah, Peter Mortimer, tackled by Brett Clark. I reckon he hasn't had some work out there tonight, Brett Clark. Most of the play seems to have gone to Peter Mortimer's wing. As Schubert is injured. Ellis is hanging on to Sigsworth like last week's pay, and no penalty. Dunn, Gillespie inside the 22. And it's a penalty going to Canterbury now. Langmack is down for attention. Now, they've decided to go for the line. So,
they're not after 50, they're after that 52.
Well, they're not selfish anymore. The dead set becomes sadistic. Played by Gillespie. Away to Steve Mortimer. This fellow is Boyd. Playing at about 7 metres out from the line. Johnston, Steve Mortimer. Kelly's put it down. And a scrum will pack 15 metres out from the uprights. Pick the margins dividend tonight is going to be a whopper. I wouldn't be surprised if it's around about well, in fact, I think Alan, the director, just told me, in fact, at this stage it's 55,000. That's if you've picked the margins. In fact, I happen to know a bloke that's got a live ticket, and let me tell you, it's not Bill Anderson, Graeme Hughes or myself, and it's not Don. 55 grand. Anyway, he needs it. He's only a battler. Schubert. Brett Clark knocking on. I just got to correct something. I said then if it stays as it is, of course I'm thinking about pick the result. No, pick the margins wouldn't alter. 55 grand. 13 plus Canterbury. So this scrum to go down on the West 22. Lamb. Farah. And a scrum to go down. Again, just outside the Magpies 22 line. Johnson having trouble getting into it. West win it. It's Cogger and Farah. So big and so fast are they? They wrap these smaller Western Suburbs backs up and throw them to the ground time and time again. Here's Bilberger. Pethybridge cracking them again over the halfway. This is Brett Clark. Bilberger was dumped on the ground by Billy Johnston just a few seconds ago, and he's still down in back play. Crooks letting it go and hoping. And over the touchline, it is a penalty going to Canterbury. Well, O'Brien didn't have the ball. Drummond is appealing to the referee and asking why, but here's O'Brien being held by Drummond, so O'Brien's got no hope in the world of getting near it. Now to the 22 for the restart. This should be a drop kick from the 22. It is. 12-6 the scrums to the Magpies, 9-3 the penalties to the Bulldogs. Sigsworth outside 32 and up to the 40. Showing a good turn of strength there as he bumps off Webster. He's tackled on the halfway. Dunn. Langmack back now for Peter Mortimer, and a tackle by Alan Fowler. 7 minutes of the match remaining. Lamb, Kelly, back for Lamb, tackle from behind by Fowler. And the penalty goes to Canterbury. So what's the captain going to order this time? And a kick for touch. Well, Don, you've been back in Australia long enough now to form an opinion on the standard of football that you're seeing in 1986 compared with when you left us. What are those impressions?
Some of the big differences that I've noticed, Ray, are that the players don't seem as big to me as they were when I left. For some reason, there seem to be bigger, plodding guys, but the ability and the skills have certainly been refined, and it certainly is a much faster game now than it was when I left here 3 years ago. I can tell you that.
So timeout here as we see Alan Fowler getting some attention. We've got one break to clear. Let's take it now. 48-4. At the SCG under lights. Canterbury giving Western Suburbs one heck of a hiding. Now that's Peter Johnston playing the ball now. Kelly is gone. This is Boyd. Billy Johnston. About 8 metres out from the line. Canterbury still unable to crack the half-century. Can they do it here? Steve Mortimer's grubber kick. It came off the hands of Pethybridge. That's a try. Yes, that's a try to O'Brien. No question about it. 52 points to 4 in favour of the Bulldogs. O'Brien, the try scorer. Steve Mortimer with all the time in the world. It came off the arms of Pethybridge back into the in goal. That didn't help Des Drummond one little bit. And O'Brien picks up another try. When you're hot, and when you're not, you're not. Mortimer simply tapped the ball ahead here. A horror bounce for Pethybridge. It kicked up in his face. He couldn't hold it, and all O'Brien had to do was fall on it. I mentioned earlier Steve O'Brien was a member of that Canterbury grand final team in '84, wasn't it? He had a very big grand final too. Some people still say that he was involved in the turning point. Yeah, it was an intercept, wasn't it? You know, near his own line. Parramatta on the attack, and he pulled it down. Terry Lamb taking the attempted conversion from 22 metres out. Converting the try of O'Brien. So a mammoth point-scoring performance by this fellow Terry Lamb, and 54 points to 4. So they've eclipsed Manly's total yesterday, haven't they? That was 52-20, wasn't it? 22 points now for Lamb. Mal Cochran 20 yesterday. As Lee Crooks starts with the shallow kick-off, and it's going to be a scrum. Steve Mortimer. Play just inside the Canterbury 32. This is Andrew Farrer. Dunn. Out the back for Johnston. Tackled about 8 metres on his side of the halfway. It's from Mortimer, a long ball out to Chris Mortimer, now to Andrew Farrer. He's got Peter Mortimer on his right, he's got a heap on his left, and it's gone to a bloke in a black and white jumper. Too many players in too small a space, and Canterbury couldn't make the right decision. Exactly. He was dealing with an absolute smorgasbord of support, wasn't he? I was asked the question today, and I couldn't give an answer to a gentleman. He wanted to know why the footy tab people, the TAB, couldn't post during Monday night football the approximate dividends as to what pick the winners, or pick the margins, and pick the winners were going to pay. And it wouldn't be a lot of work, I wouldn't think. I couldn't answer the question. I'm blowed if I know why they couldn't semaphore the approximate dividends during this telecast. They semaphore daily double approximates at races. No difference. Whether they think it might induce some skullduggery amongst players, I don't know, but I think you could apply the same to jockeys, to drivers of horses. I think it's a worthwhile suggestion. Why not? Why can't we have the approximates? Billy's looking at me.
I hope you're not asking me.
No,
it's another language.
I could see you. You're not a gambler.
Here's Sigsworth. Big game by him tonight as they carry it on down the ground. Here's Steve O'Brien. Up to the 22 line, gets it away for Terry Lamb, backing up as usual. Chris Mortimer, Andrew Farrer, Peter Mortimer, intercepted by Pethybridge.
Well, there's been one player for Western Suburbs that can hold his head up tonight. It's their fullback, Rod Pethybridge. He's had some terrible bounces. A couple of those mistakes have resulted in Canterbury tries, but he's never stopped trying, and he has broken the line on numerous occasions.
Fella. This is Cogger.
Please ask you people, particularly in front of the hill stand and the Raven concourse, to keep off the Sydney cricket ground.
Little kick ahead by Crooks. Favourable bounce then. It was Alan Burns who fielded the ball. Crooks kicks again. This time it's gone out on the full. The scrum will go down about midway between the 22 and halfway on the Canterbury end of the ground. It'll be a Canterbury feed. Scrum fed by Lamb and won by West against the feed. Second of the match, in fact, for Falla. And it's Pethybridge who's tackled. He, in fact, is the last man tackled. Good performance by Rod Pethybridge.